Just say
Okay.
words. Okay, hi there. I'm Jo Baldwin-Trott, and this is the Amijo Show. The 21 days of extra special, the Amijo Show episodes that are giving something different to people right now who are at home, like you all are. So I am very thrilled to have a guest today, all the way from Australia, mate. I'm so bad at accents. Hi, Paula.
G'day, mate. How's it going, Jo? Nice to be on the
Oh,
show.
it was oh my gosh, 30 years ago that I was in, no, 20 years ago, what am I talking about? 30 years ago I was in Australia.
Oh my
30 years.
goodness.
I spent a year in Australia. Anyway, this is Paula Dunn, everyone, and I'm super thrilled. We were just having a little one-to-one and I've bullied her into it. I've asked
She
her to
did.
come. I've asked her to come on the show because, boy, that Paula has one hell of a story. So, Paula, thank you for joining me, Paula.
It's a pleasure. Yes. Thanks, Jo, for having me.
Oh no, it's fantastic. So, well, you are, so you're in Sydney, and you're obviously doing. We're just talking about how much you are doing right now, because this is the time to be still, and you are being phenomenally creative. Tell us what you've been up to, like doing some
Well,
seriously immense work.
yeah. So I'm a leadership expert and cognitive scientist, and what I actually do is I help teenage girls create confidence to conquer life. And I guess I stepped out of the corporate space about 4 years ago due to corporate bullying, and started my business. And so I was really always passionate about leadership. And one of the things that I really, I guess, love about leadership is feeling that sense of empowerment, that self-control, that certainty, and that confidence within myself. And that was something that I didn't have growing up as a child. So if I can go back to my backstory and just give you a bit
Yeah,
of
no, do
context.
because you know it's you
Yeah.
had a phenomenally tough time. So yes, please do.
Yeah, yeah. So, so I was born with a birth defect of it's called bilateral cleft lip and palate, or hair lip, depending on how people frame it. And so obviously I physically looked different from everyone else. And it wasn't until I started school that I noticed that I was actually really different from people, because they started treating me different. They started looking at me in a funny way, making faces, socially isolating me from everyone else. So sitting sort of away from me, as in fear, not wanting to touch me. And that would have been all good and well, but it actually
Right, sorry,
escalated to,
Paula.
yeah.
The dog's decided to bomb our Zoom bomb. She's been let out. Such rude timing.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, now we've introduced Nala. She's normally not a guest of the show, but she is today. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the stories you were telling me were giving me shivers. To be honest, they're just horrendous. What happened to you?
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I got physically teased, called names like fat lip and train tracks, and physically kicked by the boys in the playground on a daily basis. So, it got to a point where it was so bad that I'd go home with shins bleeding. So it wasn't until year one that I decided to go talk to my teacher and tell her that I was being teased. And so I went and saw her, and instead of getting the support that I needed, she actually pointed at the door and yelled at me and said, "Go away, don't tell tattletales." So yeah, so I walked away feeling humiliated. I remember, like, I can even take myself back in that moment and feel my physiology reacting to that humiliation and that disgrace and that shame that I felt, because I walked away with beliefs feeling like that I was less than everyone else, that my truths were considered lies, and that those in authority turned a blind eye. So yeah, but I
And
didn't. Yeah.
how long had it been going on until you kind of made that brave step to report it?
A year and a half. I was 6 years old. Yeah.
Jeez.
And I remember that because I was with my one and only friend, and I was umming and ahhing and deciding, should I go tell her? I didn't want to go and dob, because that wasn't the cool thing to do, but I wanted it to stop. So that was the response I received. Ultimately, eventually, the kicking stopped, but obviously the verbal teasing still continued for the duration of my primary school years. Yeah, so it wasn't until year 7 that I went to an all-girls private Catholic school that I was saved. Yeah.
And did you share it with your mum at the time, or?
Of course, yeah. My parents knew all about it, and
Yeah.
the thing was that they were migrants, first generation Australian um, here in Australia, and they're concerned. I mean, they were concerned about that, and they thought of all the pros and cons to what to do, take me out, put me in another school, but then they were worried that it would happen all over again. So they, obviously they're like, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, so the kicking did stop. My brother was in the police force, so he was able to go to the school directly and speak to the principal. So I was quite popular for the day when they saw my brother show up in the police car in a uniform. So I think the kids got scared. So
Good.
that kind of helped, yeah.
Oh, bless you. So then you moved schools, and that was the start of you kind of you're kind of getting dealing with it, and
Mm.
being able to just exist normally without having that kind of awful experience while you're learning. It's just,
Yeah, but the thing was, I was practically, because of the 7 years of bullying, I really struggled academically at school, and to make it even worse, the teachers put me in the special classes for English and maths for slow learners because I wasn't grasping the concepts. It's because had a high anxiety and stress every day. I remember, like, I'd know that by the time I'd get home from school, I felt like I could just relax, and then it was like starting again the next day. So yeah, so it was a really difficult time for me from year 7 to really work hard to get my grades up to a certain standard. Yeah.
amazing. And obviously that's something you've now bring into your leadership training for
Mm.
teenagers, because you know what it's like to be working at that anxiety state. And I think
Mm.
sadly the culture of today is there are so many teenagers that are in that state on a regular basis in
Mm.
education, and so therefore not performing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the things I learnt about that bullying experience and growing up at school, because for me it was my parents really instilled education as a form of power. They said education was power. Education gives you opportunities. Because they knew of how I looked, it was really they were concerned as to the opportunities that I'd have in life, whether I'd find love and get married, be able to be financially secure. So they really drummed into me about the importance of education. So I wrapped my identity around my academic abilities because that was something that I could control and I could work on and improve. So I went from the bottom of my classes to academic maths, English, science, religion, and music in year 10. And then I ended up scoring the top 10% of the state for biology and music for my year 12. And by the end of that, I got into my first degree of choice, which was Bachelor of Biomedical Science. So, it's not impossible. And what I believe is it's not how you start off in life, it's how you choose to live it. And that's my motto. And every student that I work with, I never write them off. I always see beyond the facade. I look at their behavior, and being a cognitive scientist, I really get down to understanding why they do the things they do, and I find it very interesting. So it's being able to help them break through their insecurities to get them to where they want to go in life.
Oh, it's amazing. And I love the fact that, the kind of overlying concept of all of this is leadership, because
Mm-hmm.
actually, even if you're an entrepreneur, or, you're just doing your thing, or you're one of 25 in a team, you can still be a leader within that team. And teaching girls leadership, and I'm hugely into equality. It's something I'm very passionate about, doing lots of 50-50 work for governance, and so I think this is exactly the right time. This is an amazing offer that you do, because getting girls at that level to really believe in themselves as leaders, not just confident, not just powerful, make a change. That mindset has to come in here, and I wish I'd had that at that age, because
Same here.
it took me 25 years to think that I could do any leadership of any type, really, not like congruently from within. And that's part of your program, isn't it? It starts with confidence.
Absolutely. I mean, I see all the mental health first aid stuff that goes out, and they're trying to tick boxes at schools to say, yeah, we've done this, we've done that. And my experience, like I've worked with one of the top affluent schools in Australia, in Sydney, called Pimble's Ladies College, and the girls trialed out part of my program, and they said to me that out of all the programs that they've had come to the school, they've never seen a program that I've developed that they've gone through with me. Yeah, so it made me happy and proud, because it is an affluent school, so they're given every opportunity and every, you know, program thrown to them under the sun, and for them to come around and say, we've never had this type of stuff done for us before, I think it's great. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's fantastic, and you know, I have no doubt, having spoken to you, that you know what you offer, and you've actually adapted your program. So you were doing a 10-week program, and now you've got a 6-week program,
Yes,
especially
correct.
for like the summer term, because obviously there's lots of schools. I mean, I know lots of teachers that I'm going to mention you to, and because I think it's such a phenomenal offering. All the schools will be having to be a bit creative. I know one school in where I am in Ealing, they're doing a radio station every morning now. You know, it's like all these
Cool.
innovative ideas. But yeah, you've got a special 6-week program, haven't you, now for to offer?
Yes. So essentially, I have a 5-step methodology, but what I'm doing is I'm working on my first one, which is creating confidence. So the idea with confidence, because we're in times of uncertainty, there's no point talking about creating emotional intelligence and looking at creating a growth mindset and creating collaboration. What we need to do is we need to go down to the basics, to the foundation. And the foundation of all my courses starts with confidence. It starts with understanding one's identity. I surveyed 100 girls in year 10 pre-COVID, and basically asked them a various question survey on their confidence levels in various areas. So such as time management, their goal setting, their academic performance, various things like that. And one of the things I found, which were the least confident areas that they had, was identity. So that was like one of the biggest ones. The other one was control of their environment, that they felt like they had no control over their environment, and obviously feeling stressed under pressure. So they were the 3 areas that they lacked confidence in. And so I've honed in on those 3 particular factors to be able to help them navigate their internal fears. So unlike other courses, I like to really drill down in what fears and concerns each girl has, because it's great to get that pink elephant out in the room, so we can uncover their fears and then create solutions for those specific fears.
Yeah, no, you're right. And there are so many courses out there that are just kind of like a stamp. Oh, here you go. This is what it looks like. But unless, you know, all my work starts from your own values. Who are you from within, and what do you believe in?
Yep.
And you know, and probably girls at that age, you don't really get that opportunity to talk about that. They're just all this information is fine at them. Learn this, learn that. Here you go. Here's that exam. So much pressure. You know,
Yeah.
and especially at the moment, there's a lot of girls at that age must be having a real wobble, because obviously, you know, the exams are on pause, and it's just really difficult time. But at least if you can get them really into themselves and believe in who they are, and believe that they'll manage. You know, you've done more than managing. You've actually thrived and come through with such resilience, Paula. I'm just blown away by your story, by the way.
Oh, thank you. And that's the thing. I think it's really, look, we will get through this year. It will be challenging and difficult, but it'll make us all stronger. And look, I've been through a lot of things in life, like a lot of people. Like I've been through tragedies and illnesses and bits and pieces. So the bullying was like hardly anything these days when I think about it. But it's made me the person that I am today. And, you know, I'm the type of leader that likes to see, I want to see girls win. I want them to fast track their success in life. I want them to be able to, you know, follow their passion and dreams with gusto. Pick the partners that they should be with, not the ones that, you know, they're picking because they don't think they're good enough or their self-worth, you know, things like that, you know, or settling for second best, let's just say second best for that individual, because like we all do, you know. And it's time that we need to step up. We need to step up, we need to stand out, And we need to show, you know, these girls need to shine in their glory.
They do, like you are.
Yeah.
Amazing. And also,
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
No, and you know, with this uncertainty, it's challenging for young girls to continue with the confidence. Boys seem to tackle the uncertainty a lot better because they you know, they're used. I'm just generalizing here, okay? Because obviously, you know, there'll be definitely gender, but there are gender differences in the uncertainty of the environment, that boys can thrive and are higher risk takers and go-getters, and they don't seek for people's approvals before they do anything, you know. So those types of attitudes are going to make them thrive in this particular time, whereas girls are a bit more cautious. We kind of sit back and wait to see what everyone else is doing before we decide. You know, we're overly critical. We like to be perfectionists. You know, the girls that I've worked with, you can see that they're so passionate, they want to do the best they can, but they kind of sabotage themselves from moving ahead. So it's something I want to help them break as soon as possible, so they can succeed in this short period of time that we've got left.
Yeah, I see that sort of, you know, at my age of leaders I work with, is that so many women, they only do things when they're completely certain. They wait till they've got a certain voice to speak out. They won't speak if they're not 90% plus certain. Whereas that holds us back, and that, I think that's the sabotage partly as well. Whereas, you know, we need to just believe in ourselves. If we believe in it, then it's right. It's really that simple. You know, we just have to believe in it, and therefore it is right, because that's what makes it right. So it's because it's always our own message, isn't it? Fantastic talking to you, Paula. I'd like you to be in my women leading book, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, it'd be a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks. That was a bit on the hop, wasn't it? You can't really say no. Yeah, no, I don't want to, Jo.
That's fine.
But I love your message, and I'm collating, you know, it's a co-author book again, like the remote working one, and it's all about women leading, and it's all about leading now. And I think your message is just awesome, and your approach to helping it. So thank you for coming on the show today. I'm Jo Baldwin-Trott. That was Paula Dunn. Oh, quickly, sorry, where can we find you again? Your website is?
My website is www.nolimits.com. No, nolimitsconsulting.com.au.
So nolimitsconsulting.com.au, because you're in Australia, obviously. But we can do this very easily with technology, and thank goodness for that.
Absolutely.
It's all doable, and you're putting it all online, aren't you, as well? So there's a mixture of both.
Yep.
Right, well, there we go. That was Paula Dunn, and Paula's on LinkedIn, which is obviously where we connected through a mutual friend. So this is the Amijo Show. I'm Jo Baldwin-Trott, and thanks for tuning in.